Great. The first talk will be automated characterization of myocardial scar topological patterns for ventricular tachycardia screening. And the presenter is Lei Li from Singapore. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lei Li, currently assistant professor in the National University of Singapore. So today I'm going to introduce our work for the automatic characterization of myocardial infarction topological pattern for the VT screening. So let's start with some clinical background. The patient's cohort we focus on is post-myocardial infarction. So that refers to the patient who are luckily survived from the myocardial infarction. But still, these patients, they are still at high risk for sudden cardiac death. This is because during the myocardial infarction, part of the muscle has been died due to the deprivation of oxygen. And this kind of dead muscle can interrupt the normal electrical propagation, and thus can result in the arrhythmia or tachycardia in the ventricle, which are all life-threatening disease and can cause sudden cardiac death. So in clinical, the doctor will implant a defibrillator inside the body for these patients if they think these patients are at high risk for sudden cardiac death. As you can see, it's an invasive device, right? So we need to make this decision very carefully. However, currently in clinical, the doctor, just based on very one-fit or simple metric, we call it the ejection function. So if this metric has a value lower than 35%, then they will implant a defibrillator. This is actually not that accurate, and which results in many patients, they receive the unnecessary ICD implantation. And more versely, some patients, they're actually at high risk for sudden cardiac death, but they're unluckily filtered by this inaccurate metric. So we need to change the situation, right? So we need to optimize the ICD patient selection. How could we do this? So recently, they have some studies which indicate that there exists quite strong correlation between the scar topological pattern and the SCD risk. Specifically, the intramural scar, which refers to the scar that do not touch any boundary of the myocardium. And this kind of scar has shown quite strong correlation with the SCD risk. So which kind of gave us a new direction. Maybe we can measure the extent of the intramural scar to better, to optimize our selection of the ICD patients. So, yeah, it kind of motivate us to do this to get the infarction distribution. How could we do this? We can employ the LG MRI, and then where we can find the enhanced area is the scar. And more importantly, we need to know the scar subtype, right? To check whether the scar is transmural, means whether it touches both boundary or it doesn't touch any, we call it intramural scar, or maybe it touches only epicardian or endocardian scar. So this kind of radial projection kind of motivates us. Maybe instead of doing the segmentation in the Cartesian coordinate system, we can do the segmentation in the polar system. So as you can see, we can connect the scar region with the centroid of the left ventricle with radial lines and check whether the line touch in the scar, whether it touched the boundary, and then do the scar subtype classification. So this is our overview framework. So it can be separated into 3 stages. So let's start with the first one. So the first one is trying to do the polar transformation projection. So with LGMRI, we will transform it into the polar coordinate system and extract the features. So based on these features, we have a dual branch. The first one is the boundary-aware segmentation, and the last one is the standard segmentation. And with this segmentation, we can do a polar transformation, inverse polar transformation to get the final scar segmentation with also with a very clear subtype. So this is how we do the polar transformation. As you can see, for each short ISO image, we can put this kind of grid sampling on this image. So by doing this, we can get the representation on the polar coordinate system, and then we can do the convolution in the cylinder to better extract the features in the polar coordinate system. So the second one is the boundary-aware scar segmentation. So the reason is that we know that the scar subtype classification is quite sensitive to the boundary because it's always talking about the boundary, whether the scar touches the boundary. So we need to make sure our boundary is very accurately detected. So we designed such kind of boundary-aware module. So as you can see here, we have 4 boundaries. So the first one is the endocardian, and then is the scar start, scar end, and then endocardian. And as for the loss, we have 2 standard loss. One is the segmentation loss, and then is the contour loss, which calculate the cross entropy of the boundary probability map. More importantly, we have a pseudo-dice loss, which is pseudo-Cuttinger segmentation map to kind of make sure that the segmentation at 2 different coordinate systems is matched. So yeah, for validation, we did our experiment on the 181 post-Myocardial function across the 5 centers. So this is our results. So we did some operation study. Honestly, we do not always get very good results, but in general, we get good performance for the generalized score and also the sensitivity. So I want to highlight that sensitivity is quite important because if the sensitivity is not accurate, we will miss some patients that are actually at a high risk for sudden cardiac death. And this is our 2D visualization on the polar coordinate system. So each circle refers to each short ISO from the apex to the basal. So the green color is the healthy one, and the yellow color is the intramural scar, which is very important for the SCD risk prediction. So this is our segmentation results. As we know, the segmentation also vary a lot. And this is the visualization. So to have a very quick summary, so we present a quite novel framework for the scar topological characterization. Instead of doing the segmentation on the standard Cuttinger coordinate system, we did the segmentation in the polar coordinate system. As I mentioned before, this is due to the scar subtype classification is based on the I forgot the word anyway. Yeah. So yeah, it's very important, a very novel idea. In the future, we plan to broaden our validation across more diverse cohort. And also, we want to deep our classification or deep our analysis on these topological scars, while the blue eyes map, which is widely used in clinical for more like deep discussion on the subtype. So yeah, that's all the content of my talk. I still have time, so I can make a advertisement here. So currently, I created a very new group in the NUS last October. So we are a growing team, very fresh. So I'm very looking forward to some of the talented researchers in this room to join us, either apply a PhD or postdoc. I will try to get more funding to have more postdocs. And also, we are very welcome some visitors to join us to do some research about the cardiac science. Yeah, so the Singapore is a very nice place for doing research. Nice weather, nice food, nice swimming pool. Yeah, hope you will consider it. Okay, happy to answer any questions. Thank you.